Yo, what is up guys? Welcome back to another brand new F1 Esports video. This time though, it's round number 1 around Bahrain, the 2023 F1 Esports World Championship. And you might be asking yourself, why has this complete idiot uploaded round 1 after round 2 and 3? And that's because I didn't have the footage yet of round number 1. And I think after some people saw my round 2 and round 3 where I talked about that I didn't get the footage for round number 1, we actually got it sent. So yeah, we are capable of making round 1 now, and I felt like perhaps you guys want to see it. However, you can see the footage is really bad quality relative to round number 2 and 3, which were okay-ish quality, not as good of course as when I record on my own. But yeah, you can see, especially when we start speeding up, the footage is incredibly grainy, so I'm sorry for that. There's nothing I can do about it. This is not my own PC that we're recording on. We are the LAN event, and yeah, they're obviously not my own settings as well, so not much I can do about it. I'm sorry. If you do not want to watch because of the poor quality, then you can always watch round number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Or maybe PSGL season 36, or WR, or one of the league races, or whatever. You know what? You choose yourself what you want to watch. We are gonna go into a quick little Q1 session here. First one of the year on F1 23. It's a bit weird to say that after making round 2 and round number 3. But yeah, as if you have not watched those, there was around a 6-month gap between round number 1 and round number 2 due to many complicated reasons. I don't exactly know all of them as well. I don't really know why it took so long anyway, but not really important to me anyway. We just need to bang out fast laps. Freddie Rasmussen, 2P1. First one to set a lap actually at 27.646. And now we're gonna go into turn 1 ourselves and try to beat that, of course. 1.6 laps of fuel remaining, just enough to do an in lap as well. We go into turn 1, a little bit of a slide, a little bit too much. You have to really get a very controlled slide. It's such a slippery track, Bahrain. And yeah, into turn 4 we go. We're going to go down on the differential. It is actually blocked, which is done automatically on the recording. And now we're unfortunately getting blocked by Freddy, which is no ideal. Obviously I was ghosting, but even if a car is ghosted, you're still getting dirty air from that car. So we lost quite a bit of time there. Not massive, but it did cost us. And it's also quite distracting, of course, having a car right on your apex. So Freddy did receive a 3-place grid penalty for that. They do seem to dish out quite good penalties for blocking in qualifying. They do seem to differ quite a lot, and I think that's because the intensity of it all depends on the intensity of the blocking, and how bad you got distracted and given dirty air. So onto the line we go then. Bit of time lost with Freddy holding us up, and it's 27.900. And yeah, we're gonna have to go out again and improve on that, because that lap, even without the blocking, I reckon would have not been enough to get ourselves into Q2. So through turn 1, 2, 3 we go. It's half turned up already, and yeah, we are gonna gain quite a bit in that spot where Freddy blocked us, and we actually gained another half tenth, so we're over 10 up at the moment. 1.2 tenths, 1.3 tenths as we head into this part, and you can see that we gained another 6-7 hundredths there. It wasn't great, but yeah, obviously better than the lap where Freddy slightly held us up there. Didn't quite get turn 10 right though. Lost 7 hundredths there, and that's just such a hard corner to get right on this game. So yeah, not ideal. We are currently in P13. Little bit of a moment there. We're really pushing the limit here, because I know I'm gonna have to improve. Lucas Blakely with a 127 0.550. Through the last sector we go. 1.1 tenths. We are up, and I know that I'm one of the last out on track, so I know that I don't have to improve a lot to make it into Q2 here, so I just decided, you know what, we're gonna take it relatively careful. I actually still managed to gain a little bit of time, but I knew that we were gonna go through. P13, 2 people go behind us, and it's gonna be P14 by the end of it. And that's gonna get us quite easily into Q2. Honestly, a bit frustrating that I didn't get a better first run in Q1, because then we would have saved a set of tires, of course. Like some people, I think, on the grid did. Maybe Freddy managed to stay in for his last run, I'm not sure. So it's hard to say who stayed in and who stayed out. But Ismail Fassi, Ulas Wilderim, Fabricio Donoso, Wilson Huge and Simon Weigang out in Q1. And now we have to go on to Q2. This is a used tire run in Q2. Some tracks you have time to put a used tire run in Q2. And it's a 27.901, which is the same pace as we did in our first run of Q1. So we're getting into a nice little rhythm here as we move on to our first new tire run of Q2. You can see there on the top right, a purple middle sector. And we are 3.8 tenths up going into the final DRS zone, 127.497. Now, my PB in Q2 for this track was at 27.48 in Q2. Obviously for Q3 it was a lot faster, but yeah, we were already really close on that, and we were only P6. So yeah, that's not great news. That basically just means we are off the pace, or we were off the pace in practice. I remember for this round I went to practice on the rigs they had there. We had a full day of practice, actually 2 full days of practice, which was way too much, by the way. Just Bahrain, Silverstone. Originally the first 2 tracks were going to be Bahrain and Silverstone, but it ended up just being Bahrain. And yeah, I actually PB'd while we were there on completely different rigs, different wheel, different screen. Everything was different, especially the rigs were a big change, and somehow I PB'd by half a tenth. So yeah, I was actually quite comfortable. And you can see again now, if we go half a tenth up on this lap, we're gonna be PB by quite a margin. Daniel Bresnay, our teammate, goes to provisional P1 with at 127.335. We had a 127.48, and through the final corner we go. We're gonna go almost 110 up on that. And it is going to be a Q2 PB actually, 127.420, and that gets us into Q3, and we are 1/10 behind P1 though. So yeah, Bahrain, not my greatest track in qualifying. In the race I'm usually really good around here. Story of my life. But on to Q3 we go. P8 it is there. Barry Borman though, out in Q2, not something we see a lot, and yeah, that just shows how close the grid is. It's everyone is capable of making mistakes. Everyone is going to go out in Q3 at some point, or in Q2, because it's so close. It's so incredibly competitive. But now then, on to our final Q3 lap. This is the one that's going to decide pole position, and into turn 1 we go. We barely gain time to our used tire run. It's not in a great turn 1, 700s up. If we gain 700s every corner though, we're gonna be absolutely cooking. But yeah, turn 1 is a corner you can make up a lot of lap time, or if you have more grip, because it's so slow speed and really hard on traction. But into sector 2 we go, 1.4 tens up, and yeah, that's a used tire run, of course. That's again not a great corner, too much of a slide, kill the momentum way too much as we go into turn 10. Again, another lockup, another slide, way too wide. And we lost like over a 10 there to our used tires. This has not been a good lap for us. Nicolas Longuet goes to provisional P1 at 127.164. Our teammate Danny Bresnay goes to provisional pole position there. And yeah, we are not fighting for pole position here. This lap has been absolutely horrendous. Not sure what happened from doing such a good Q2 lap for our standards to, yeah, this, whatever this is, we are gonna do pretty much the same lap as we did in Q2, even though the track is arguably 3/10 faster, maybe 4. Yeah, this was terrible. Thomas Horner got pole position in the end, ahead of her teammate Danny Bresnay. Yeah, this was, I think, the worst final Q3 lap of my F1 Esports live. I think perhaps even my league racing live as well. That was horrendous. Missed every single apex. Now, later I found out I also had a little bit of an issue with my screen, with my display. But even with that, it was still horrendous. It was still, even with the screen issue, I honestly should have done way better than that. Now, we did end up starting P9 ahead of Freddie Rasmussen, because he had that 3-plate grid penalty, of course, for blocking us in Q1. So yeah, that helps us a little bit. Now, Bahrain, one-on-one is a really easy track to overtake. But the issue is, in a train where, there's a bit of a glitch there, where there are so many cars behind each other and you cannot really make a dive bomb into turn 1, for example. It's really tough to overtake, but here we go then. Round number 1 of the championship. Into turn 1 we're gonna go. I was having a little think about going around the outside of our Caraton there into turn 1, but we stay in P9. I think Freddy had a bit of an incident in turn 1 there, as Ruben Pedreno goes off the track, and we are gonna put him under pressure. Into turn 4 we go. We're gonna go all the way around the outside of 2 cars. Can't quite pull that one off though, and up to P8 we go. 1 position gained here in this opening lap. Through the twisty right-left we go. Alvaro didn't get a great run there, and we're gonna go around the outside again. Alvaro gets boxed in, and that's gonna be a beautiful little move. He squeezes us onto the curb a little bit, but the next one is gonna be the inside for us, and we got a great little runner here. We're gonna send it down the inside, run deep, and get to P7. Bit of a moment on the exit there, actually, trying to get the power down, and now up to P7. Great start to the race for us. P9 to P7. Let's hope we can keep gaining 2 positions every single lap from here on, eh? But yeah, that's maybe a little bit too optimistic. You see Lucas Blakely pressurizing Nicolas Longuet there and going for a cheeky little switchback. Can't quite pull it off though. Not easy to overtake in dirty air on this track when the car ahead is getting DRS as well. I think the main overtaking opportunity is turn 1. Maybe turn 4, but you always run into the issue of a car being ahead of the car you're trying to overtake, and yeah, that just kind of just puts you stuck in the position you are. And yeah, I've just been chilling here, I've just been saving tires as Lucas Blakely goes for a move, and it ends in an incident. Nicolas Longuet is around in turn 1. I completely run wide to avoid Nicolas Longuet there, and he just coasted, and everyone drove through him. So yeah, a bit of a time loss there. In the end of the day, not a big issue, because we gained the position nonetheless. And you can see Lucas Blakely going slowly there. He has wing damage, and he is going to be struggling for pace. You can see, especially in this high-speed section, no grip for him. And I was thinking about a little send here, but again, same scenario as I was talking about. There's a car ahead of him, and yeah, I can't run deep into the corner because I will run into Jed Norgrove. So overtaking is very limited on this track in league racing, not as much in real F1 because the gaps are just so much bigger. But yeah, now we're going to turn on the overtake button, go for the move on Lucas into turn 11, and he knows. You can see actually on the front left that he's missing that end plane, and yeah, his race is over from here. Nothing you can do in F1 Esports, Bahrain especially, where the 2-stop is just so much slower, you know, like if it's Montreal or Mexico, for example, perhaps you can come back because the 2-stop is a little bit more viable, but Bahrain, the 2-stop is probably the worst track for a 2-stop actually, even though in real life it's a great track to do a 2-stop, not quite in the game though. You can see 50% on the rear tire wear going into the final corner, and that's after 10 laps, and that means basically you can do half the race on a set of softs. However, we're going to come into the box at the end of lap 10. Behind Jed Norgrove, we got Alvaro Caraton behind us. Nicolas Longuet boxed actually think 1 or 2 laps earlier than us. Yeah, just to try and get himself back into the race. He actually recovered really well after that spin.
Mercedes will no doubt be very happy with that.
Because yeah, he did get spun around a little bit and stopped, but yeah, he was quite straight back onto racing. But yeah, he obviously did drop like 5-6 positions, I think. So out of the pits we go. Right behind Chad Nargarov, we can see Lucas Blakely and Nicolas Longuet battling. Now, yeah, I think Nicolas still can get a good result here, but Lucas has to do like 23 laps on a set of tires, and that's not possible around here. I think so. Not at a good pace, at least. Of course, you can do 23 laps on hards, but they'll be completely finished by the end, and it's not going to be fast, especially if you have to change your front wing. That's another 4 or 5 second loss. So, yeah, he may look like he's in a decent position at the moment, Lucas, but he's going to drop to the field like an absolute stone once his tires hit that first cliff at 20% tire wear. Trying to push Jet a little bit here, because I'm trying to undercut as much cars as possible. Yeah, we are obviously in P5, P6 before the pit stops. I think so, P5. So we're trying to undercut every single car on the track here. However, Jet is just not quite getting on with it. You can see we're right behind him. And yeah, he has to use his battery here. And I felt like we should have used more of a battery. I can use more battery here, but I'm just going to be on the gearbox of Jet here. So this is not ideal. I hope we can still undercut everyone in this train. You see Lucas and Nicolas are trying to push as well. They're on all the tires, of course, but trying to get maybe past her into turn 1. And you can see we're just about going to get everyone. I'm going to go around the outside of Jet in turn 1. It's 3 wide, and I'm going to have to back out here, otherwise we're going to have a crash. I actually really late on realized that Alvaro was there, and I pushed him a little bit off the track. So Alvaro, if you're watching this, right, I'm very sorry. I did not realize you were there. Bit of a hairy situation. I had to back out really late because you're 3 wide into there. Would have not worked. And now we're going to go down the inside of Thomas Ronner into the next right-hander. He's on cold tires. Little bit of a tap. And we're going to get a great exit on these warm tires. And into the next left-hander we're going to go. It's still going to be side by side, maybe. We should have not cut him off, but give him a little bit of a tighter line. He pushes a little bit wide, but that's only fair game considering we did the same in the corner before. And now we're a little bit down on battery. That's no ideal. We're just going to try and recover some of that battery in the next few laps. Cool down a little bit, because yeah, I was a little bit maybe not aggressive. I just tried to make moves and almost got caught up in an incident in turn 2. So yeah, I had to play a safe game there. Didn't quite get them moved on, unfortunately. Otherwise, we would be right behind Lucas Blakely, or maybe past him at this point. You can see Thomas going for a move on Jet ahead. And you can see more people are actually going for moves. A lot of people using their battery. We're just chilling, sitting back. And you can see Lucas almost getting caught up in another incident. And he gave up that position to Thomas because he knows his tires are going to be absolutely finished by the end of this race. He's in P10 now, but yeah, his tires have started to drop off a cliff. He's actually on soft, so he has fully committed to a 2-stop from here on. And yeah, with his tires dropping off so much more relative to ours, we're gonna go for a cheeky little dive bomb. And yeah, with the much fresher tires, it's gonna be quite easy up to P10. However, it's a net P4 in this race, so huge gains so far in this race, but we're on slightly older tires relative to the rest of the grid. Still struggling to get our ERS back up. 60% now, and you see Thomas is running away with this race. There's not much I can do because, yeah, us failing to get past just resulted in Thomas getting away there, and I'm gonna send it down the inside of Chet because I kind of was desperate for this. I know that Nicolas was on much older tires. Jet's race pace was perhaps not that great, and this was not ideal as well. He got pushed on the track there. In real F1, that would be a completely fair move from Jet, because you have to be side by side on the apex for the outside car to be given the room. In F1 Esports the rules are different though. if my front wheel is next to Jet's front wheel or rear wheel on turn-in, I need to be given racing room, and he didn't. So he's gonna get. I think he got a warning for that. But yeah, it has put us on the back foot here again, and it looks like Thomas is running away with this. Maximum we're gonna get from here is P2. We've just had too many failed moves in this race to be fighting for the win. I think, you know, such small different outcomes of certain moments in the race would have ended us in a potential chance of at least winning. If we perhaps get ahead of Thomas and Jet on that lap where Thomas came out of the pits, let's say into turn 2 here, then yeah, we're ahead of both of them, and then we are leading this train. So now Thomas is around 3 seconds ahead, just over 3 seconds ahead, and anyone who plays F1 Esports or is very high level league racing knows that we are not catching that back up. I decided at this point, you know what, I've got Jet behind me, I've got Nicolas behind me. They are both, or at least Nicolas is on much older tires. If I can keep Nicolas behind in my DRS, then I can just save tires. I can just save tires because we boxed quite early as well. And you can see the tire indicators come on. Nicolas is struggling to stay in our DRS at this point. But yeah, I want to keep him there. I just wanted to keep him there because he was a great little defense for us. He was slow in the corners, but quite fast on the straight, a little bit low downforce, but also on all the tires. So yeah, I decided, you know what, maximum we get here is P2. I'm saving my tires, I'm saving my ERS, and yeah, just chill in P2. Save our rear tires, and make sure we secure this P2. Because if I did go absolutely flat out, pedal to the metal, trying to catch up to Thomas, if we drive a near perfect last stint, we are gaining maybe 1.5 seconds to him. That would be a phenomenal stint. If we gain 1.5 seconds, we're still not winning the race. So yeah, that's why I decided we just have to accept P2 for now. However hard it is, it's just the reality sometimes that you cannot be winning every race. You cannot be always on the good end of things. You have to accept that, and only then, if you realize that, you can be on the good side of things, stay out of trouble, stay out of incidents, and get lucky sometimes. Or perhaps not lucky, but get on the right side of things. And this race, we were not quite on the right side of things, which, yeah, is crazy, because we started P9 and we had a great chance of winning this race if just such small things changed. Yeah, that's just how it goes sometimes. That's racing. And you can see Nicolas struggling to keep up now. And yeah, me pulling off into the distance helps Nicolas here as well, because he's still getting DRS and he's not getting any dirty air. So yeah, he was kind of my teammate this race a little bit, even though we are absolutely not teammates. We're massive rivals in the Constructors' Championship. Of course, Ferrari with such a strong lineup, Barry and Nicolas. Yeah, they sometimes just have to work together a little bit with other drivers on the grid. But P2 it is, from P9 on the grid. Solid result nonetheless, 18 points in the back. Hope you guys enjoyed our first race on F1 23 Esports. Sorry again that round 2 and round 3 were uploaded first. Out of my control a little bit. I didn't receive the footage before today. So once I got it, I straight went on to editing, so you guys can watch it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like and subscribe, and see you guys next time. Ciao.
I'm in the AMG, no bitch, you